Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is December 13th. It is Thursday, 2018. Now, first of all, before I get into the topic of the video, I just had to show you guys this real quick. This area over here was the puppies area. We have moved the puppies because that was just way too small for them. So we've reorganized things a little bit today. I hung some of the cast iron on the wall here. The rest of it's underneath under here. We keep about this much wood on hand anyway, but what we did was this table here was over here, so we moved that over here. This is now where the cats have their cat litter. The food and everything's over there for them. Actually organized the counters, cleaned up this area here, cleaned up in the corner here. So it looks more open. I'm going to come over here to the side so you guys can see this. Definitely more open, which is nice because it's obviously a small space, and it's just a matter of trying to organize things better. And the puppies, now we put them over here with a gate here, and they got a much bigger area to hang out, and because they are pretty big dogs, and so I wanted to make sure that they had a good area. So what? You got a big area now? Do you got a big area? So it gives them more room, and it's definitely better for them. So that so I had help with cleaning today. Hold on, we'll let these guys out. Come on. And here's my helper having a smoke break. There's Eva helping me organize and clean. Okay, so actually, the moon is out already. You can see it right up there. And it's only about 3 o'clock, 3:11 I think in the afternoon. It was a good day solar-wise for us. It's in the 40s today, so it actually feels really good. We actually had a dusting of snow overnight, and I had to come out this morning and clean off the solar panels again. So it's always something, but it definitely feels much nicer having the house more organized and cleaned up. We had to get the puppies out of that corner. It was just way too small for them, so now they have a much bigger area to run around and play in, or well, kind of hang out in. So anyway, so topic of today's video, we're going to talk about that the government is saying that the possibility of a terrorist attack on the power grid, and geez, that sounds familiar. I may have said that a few times. Is a real possibility because obviously our power grid is very antiquated, and so they're recommending that people have a 6-month supply of food and water available, because if something happens that you can be able to survive, the grid down situation. And they basically said, if you're on life-saving medication and stuff like that, you are pretty much going to be screwed, unfortunately. So, but I think that's amazing that, this is something that I've been preaching forever and ever and a day about preparedness, and that you need to be ready. And, having a good supply of food and water. Like I said, originally FEMA had said, a 2-week supply of food and water just in case of an emergency. Now they're saying 6 months. So what does that tell you? They may have some credible intel, possibly, that there may be an attack on the grid, or it could be something that they do themselves. Because we've talked about this before. The best way, if you want to cull the population, is to do a grid down situation for an extended period of time, and you're going to have matters take care of themselves if that's the case. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to pass, basically, with medical conditions, that anybody that's on a ventilator, anybody that, like I said, with life-saving medication. Think about all the people that are getting cancer treatments with radiation and chemo and stuff like that. That all would stop, and the cancer would come back obviously very aggressively at that point, and they would be screwed. People on, whatever medications that they had that helped them to survive. Hemophiliacs would be another one that would be in really, really deep trouble. And so, there's a lot of people that would be, and the thing is, and think about it from a government standpoint. Let's think about this from a government standpoint. You have a grid down situation. Your inner cities would be a nightmare. Well, cities in general, would be a nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare. You would have killing and chaos and just in a very, very short order. I mean, a very short order. Whatever supplies that were available would be commandeered by the strongest and the toughest right off the bat, and they would keep it for themselves and they wouldn't be sharing it with anybody else. You would have a lot of people that would die. Like I said, if we had the grid down for 6 months, the population of the United States would be decimated. And I've had people say to me, well, there's people around the world that don't have power and they do just fine and stuff like that. But we're talking about here where people are used to the creature comforts. They're used to having everything and have always had everything. And now to not have it, it would be a nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare. And so if there's some, and the thing is, actually a coordinated attack on the power grid would not be very difficult at all, and you wouldn't even have to use an EMP. So you could shut down the system pretty easily. That's the honest assessment of it that I have, because I've looked at how that could be possibly done. You look at, there was a substation in California that was attacked. For 20 minutes, an individual shot up the substation and took down the grid in that area, and they were able to circumvent that area so that the power could be diverted. But it was like they never caught the person, and it was basically one individual with a rifle shooting up the substation. So think about a coordinated attack and how long, you could be without power for a while before it was put back up. If you had people organized that really were looking to do harm to the United States, it'd be very, very easy to do. So, the loss of life would be tremendous, and people are like, well, people around the world are used to not having blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but a lot of people around the world are used to handouts from the United States too, okay? You go into Africa and you look at all the aid and stuff like that we provide for different parts of those countries over in Africa. If we're not providing that aid anymore, a lot of people are going to starve. A lot of people. What people don't realize, the breadbasket of America feeds 40% of the people in the world. Well, if that's not running like it normally is, what's going to happen to those people? You're going to have a lot of starvation, guys. You're going to, and it's like, so when I talk about food, food, food all the time, I'm not just trying to blow smoke up your behind. I'm really not. I really want you guys to think about that. Oh, speaking of which, I just wanted to mention real quick. I should have mentioned the other day. It started a couple days ago. I have it on my website. Legacy is doing a 20% off sale on everything from now until the 17th. So you got like 4 more days that you can get 20% off of everything. You go onto my website, it'll give you the code. Hello, buddy. See, so we got Mr. Buddy's here. He's got a bloody nose because he was in a fight again. I think he was actually fighting Mr. Lucy. But, so anyway, if you're interested, preppernurse1.com. Go in there, you'll see the discount code right in the beginning. When you go to your checkout, you put in that discount code and you will get 20% off of any purchase that you make. And that goes for merchandise as well. Okay, so it's not just the Legacy food, it's 20% off of everything. So if you're looking to get a t-shirt at this point or get that coffee cup, now would be the time to do it, because this is going to be the best prices. We're going to get 20% off of anything. All right, and so anyway, so that being said, but like I said, it's there's a lot going on as far as, if the government is telling us that we need to prepare for up to a possibility of 6 months without power, there's not going to be a whole lot of compromised people, I don't think, left after 6 months. All your people in group homes, all your nursing homes. Let's be realistic, guys. I'm a realist. I don't live in fantasy, I live in reality. Your populations in nursing homes would be decimated. Probably almost 100% of those people would be dead if their family members did not come and take them out, and they're going to have a hard enough time trying to survive on their own, let alone take care of somebody that's elderly. So those people are going to be gone. Your people, your mentally retarded people, unless the family members come and take them out, they're going to die. Anybody that's, like I said, that's compromised, if they're on a ventilator, life-saving medication. Think about the people that are on psychiatric medication for, mental disorders and stuff like that. Hello. Yes, I know, I see you. He's a good boy. Aren't you? You're my big boy. Yes. Yes, you are. But anyway, so, those, come on. Thank you. Those are the people that are going to initially be affected. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to try to take from those that have it when they don't. So a lot of people are going to die of lead poisoning. You're going to have your cities in suburbia would be like the worst places you could possibly be. One of the reasons why I live where I do, most people out here are more self-sufficient. Most people where I live have a wood stove. Most people have, different ways to be able to stay warm and stuff like that. I'm just looking at the puppies. So, if you don't have a way to stay warm and it's wintertime and the grid goes down and it's going to be out for 6 months, you're going to be in deep, deep trouble, guys. Really deep trouble. So those are things that I want you guys to think about. Prepare for those type of things. If the government is telling you it's a possibility that it could happen, it's a possibility that it could happen. So they know a lot of stuff. They divert a lot of stuff that they don't ever tell us about. So that's something to think about. And but I just wanted you to be aware of that. I wanted to talk about those things. And there's Miss Pandora. What are you doing, baby girl? Huh? A good girl. But anyway, guys, I'm going to jump off of here for now. I want to hear what your thoughts on this. I want to hear what you think about the fact that the government is saying that there's a possibility that we could have an attack on the power grid that would cause us to be down for at least 6 months. And if they're saying 6, plan on it being down longer, the way the government works. Anyway, remember, guys, we are in this together. We got to really focus and try to, be supportive of each other. That's a big thing too, okay? Remember, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And remember STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself, okay? So remember that. That's really, really important. I hope everybody's doing well. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day we find out if Heather gets into her college, but it won't be until after 8 o'clock at night, they said. So, or is it today? No, today's the 13th. Yes, no, today's the day. I'm sorry. We'll know today after 8 o'clock, so we'll know if Heather got into her college or not. So, that's of her choice that she wants. So, fingers crossed. Anyway, I will talk to you all tomorrow, and I will let you know good, bad, or better news, whatever, as far as Heather goes. And I hope everybody has a great night, okay? And I really do appreciate Eva coming over to help. We're kind of trading off. I'm running her to some appointments. So I told her, I said, well, if I'm going to run you to appointments, I said, would you help me clean my house? And she's like, sure. So that's what she's doing. So we're going to start with the house. We're working on that. And then we're going to go into the shop over here. And that is a disaster in there, and we're going to work on that as well. It's so much nicer doing it with somebody. I mean, I'm not sitting around making her do it all. I'm helping. So just so you know. All right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.